Welcome to FM Education Academy, a place where quality content is provided to you all. It is on your request that we make most of our videos. So if you have any request, comment below and also let me know how's the Josh. Are you enjoying our lectures? Are you understanding our lectures? In lecture 1 of atomic structure, we had discussed about subatomic particles. In that, we had seen about electrons, we had seen about protons, we had seen about neutrons, and we also saw what was Dalton's atomic theory, what was cathode ray tube, and how were electrons produced in a cathode ray tube, what were the results of the cathode ray tube, and we also saw about Millikan's oil experiment and how different scientists found out charge of electron and charge of electron, then charge of electron to mass of electron, and also they found out mass of electron. We all need to remember all these points. So I just wanted to give you a brief of what we did. So only one topic was completed last time. The portion of chemistry is very vast. We are going in topic wise, but you need to understand this that I'll cover all the pages. Okay. So in today's lecture, we'll start atomic models, that is Rutherford nuclear model of atom. In atomic models, we'll see what we can study. That is 1.2 we will finish in today's lecture. Different atomic models were proposed to explain the distribution of these charged particles in an atom. That is, we got to know that there is one atom and that is the smallest particle of in the whole earth, but we got to know that it also consists of some subatomic particles, and those subatomic particles were called as charged particles. So atom is also containing particles, and those particles are called as charged particles. We know what are the types of charged particles. We will have electrons in it, we will have protons in it, and we will also have neutrons in it. So how are these electrons, protons, neutrons distributed in an atom? That we are going to see in today's lecture. For those explanation, that is how these electrons, protons, neutrons are distributed, for those different atomic models were proposed by scientists. So out of all these different atomic models proposed by scientists, many were not able to explain how much stable the atoms were. We know it is very important for the atoms to remain stable, but these atomic models, they failed to explain the stability of atoms. But still in our portion, there are two models which are discussed. Those are model proposed by J.J. Thomson and model proposed by Rutherford for understanding the distribution of charged particles. So let us see that now. Thomson model of atom. J.J. Thomson in 1898 proposed that an atom possesses a spherical shape. So an atom is having a spherical shape that was guessed by J.J. Thomson, and it had a radius of about 10 power minus 10 meters, in which the positive charge is uniformly distributed. That is, this atom consists of positively charged ions which are uniformly distributed. That was being discovered by J.J. Thomson. And he said that the electrons are embedded. Embedded means fixed into such a manner so as to give the most stable electrostatic arrangement. So this is whole atom. For example, this is whole atom. In this whole atom, we already have positive ions. In that positive ions, we have some negative ions which are fixed inside it. Okay, like this, some negative ions which are fixed inside it. Actually, it consists of whole positive. So this model, that is Thomson model of atom, as you can see, this is your Thomson model of atom. It consists of whole positive ions, and in that it contains some negative ions. So it is also known as plum pudding, raisin pudding, or watermelon. And this model can be visualized as a pudding or watermelon of positive charge with plums or seeds, electrons embedded into it. That is, here it is telling, for example, this is my atom. Here already we have positively charged ions. In this we have some, already it's made of positive ions, for example. Okay, now in this it will have some seeds, like how watermelon has seeds. Those seeds will be called as electrons. So this was the assumption made by Thomson. There is whole atom consists of positive ions, and in that positive ions there are some negative ions. An important feature of this model is that the mass of the atom is assumed to be uniformly distributed over the atom. Although this Thomson's model was able to explain the overall neutrality of the atom, but it was not consistent with the results of later experiments. That is, the results of later experiments kept on changing, so we could not rely more on Thomson's model. But Thomson was awarded Nobel Prize for Physics in 1906 for his work in conduction of electricity by gases. We saw in lecture 1 that he performed conduction of electricity with the help of gases. In the later half of the 19th century, different kinds of rays were discovered. Wilhelm Röntgen in 1895 showed that when electrons strike a material, suppose we have a material, on that electrons were going and striking where in cathode ray tubes. When these electrons go and strike in cathode ray tubes, they produce rays which will cause fluorescence in the fluorescent materials placed outside the cathode ray tubes. So, when the rays are produced outside the cathode ray tubes with the help of these electrons, those rays he named as X-rays. So, the properties of X-rays are produced effectively when electrons strike the dense metal anode called targets. We know we have two electrodes, anode and cathode. So, X-rays will be produced effectively whenever electrons will strike the anode electrode. So these are not deflected by the electric and magnetic fields. We saw in lecture 1 that in cathode ray tube, when we bombard these electrons in electric and magnetic field, it will undergo deflection. So when will they not be deflected? They will not be deflected when the electric and magnetic fields have a very high penetrating power through the matter. And that is the reason that these rays are used to study the interior of the objects. See, even if we are putting them in electric and magnetic field, they are not getting deflected. It means that they have high penetrating power. So that is why they are used to study interior of the object. So these rays are of very short wavelengths, approximately 0.1 nanometer, and they possess electromagnetic character. Henry Becquerel, 1852 to 1908, observed that there are certain elements which emit radiation on their own and named this phenomena as radioactivity, and the elements known as radioactive elements. So the elements which were producing radioactivity, those were called as radioactive elements by Henry, and he observed that some elements will emit radiation on their own. So those elements he called as radioactive elements. This field was developed by Marie Curie, Pierre Curie, Rutherford and Frederick Soddy. And it was observed that three kinds of rays were produced: alpha rays, beta rays and gamma rays. So these scientists observed these kind of rays were being emitted. Now this slide and the previous slide is not there in TS textbook, but it is important for MSET, JEE or NEET exams. That is why I thought of keeping them here, because it is present in NCERT textbook. About Rutherford. Rutherford found that alpha rays consisted of high energy particles. Now these high energy particles, they carry 2 units of positive charge and 4 units of atomic mass. So imagine like this, there is one high energy particle that is being distributed to 2 units of positive charge, and that is being also having 4 units of atomic mass. So he concluded from that alpha particles are helium nuclei. We know helium is a radioactive element, right? As when alpha particles combine with 2 electrons, they will yield helium gas. So these alpha particles, that is rays which are being produced, when they combine with 2 electrons, they are yielding helium gas. What about beta rays? Beta rays are negatively charged particles similar to electrons. Gamma rays are high energy radiations like X-rays, and they are neutral in nature, that is, they are neither negative nor positive, and they do not consist of particles. As regards penetrating power, alpha particles are the least, followed by beta rays 100 times that of alpha particles, and gamma rays 1000 times of that alpha particles. That is, here if you see, if it asks a question in objective type in any competitive exam, arrange alpha, beta and gamma in the order of penetrating power, then you should write alpha less than beta less than gamma. Let us now see an important topic, Rutherford's nuclear model of atom. So Rutherford and his students Hans Geiger and Ernst Marsden bombarded very thin gold foil with alpha particles. The alpha particles which he discovered, he bombarded that with a very thin gold foil. Like you can see here, this is the source of alpha particles. This is our lead plate, and this is the photographic plate in which we have a gold foil. So he is bombarding it. Rutherford's famous alpha particle scattering experiment is in this figure. A stream of high energy alpha particles from a radioactive source. We know alpha particles are radioactive, so from those radioactive source, they are directed to a thin foil which is made of gold, and that is of 100 nanometers. So this thin gold foil has a circular fluorescent zinc sulfide. You can see here. This is our circular fluorescent zinc sulfide screen, and here we have whenever alpha particles get struck to the screen, on this screen, see, it hits many times on this zinc sulfide screen. So what happens? A tiny flash of light will be produced at that point. So the results of scattering experiment were quite unexpected. This experiment was called as scattering experiment. Why? Because from here the alpha particles are being redirected from the lead plate to the zinc sulfide plate, circular plate, and onto the gold foil. So what happens? They get scattered. That is why it is called as scattering experiment. So what were the results? According to Thomson model of atom, the mass of each gold atom in the foil should have been spread evenly over the entire atom. The whole entire atom, the mass is uniformly spread. That is one observation, according to him. An alpha particle had enough energy to pass directly through such a uniform distribution of mass. Alpha particle has that much strength to help the particle pass. So it was expected that the particles would slow down and change directions only by a small angle as they passed through the foil. So whenever they are passing through this foil, it was already expected that they will change only by small angles, but here we can say that, see that they are changing and getting scattered by very large angles. So these results are unexpected. One is the mass is uniformly distributed, and other one is they are scattered by large angles. So this is a schematic view of Rutherford scattering experiment. When a beam of alpha particles is shot at a thin gold foil, most of them pass through without much effect, and some will get deflected, as you can see here. Some are passing and some are getting deflected. So it was observed that there are 3 points. Most of the alpha particles pass through the gold foil undeflected. A small fraction of the alpha particles was deflected by small angles, and a very few alpha particles, approximately 1 in 20,000, bounced back, that is, were deflected by nearly 180 degree. Just now what we saw, this figure. Okay, some are deflecting straightly, some are deflecting by small angle, and some are going back by 180 degrees. So Rutherford drew the following conclusions regarding the structure of atom. Most of the space in the atom is empty, as most of the alpha particles passed through the foil undeflected. So since the alpha particles are passing undeflected without any deflection as they are passing, the space in the atom is empty. He got to conclude that. And a few positively charged alpha particles were deflected. So the reflection must be due to enormous repulsive force, showing that the positive charge of the atom is not spread throughout the atom as Thomson had presumed. What did Thomson assume? Thomson had assumed that the whole atom is consisting of positive ions. But according to Rutherford, he got to know that whole atom is not consisting of positive ion, because when the positively charged alpha particles were getting deflected, they were deflecting due to repulsive force. So that is the reason why he thought that it is not spread uniformly. Positive ions are not spread uniformly. The positive charge had to be concentrated in a very small volume that repelled and deflected the positively charged alpha particles. So he said that in the atom, positively charged particles are present only in a small volume, not throughout the atom. So calculations by Rutherford showed that the volume occupied by the nucleus is negligibly small as compared to the total volume of the atom. So he also got one more point about nucleus. Nucleus also occupies space in the atom, he got to know, and nucleus occupies small space. And the radius of the atom is about 10 power minus 10 meters. This is power minus 10, while that of the nucleus radius is 10 power minus 15 meters. So total atom radius is 10 power minus 10, total nucleus radius is 10 power minus 15. They differ by power minus 5, 10 power minus 5. So on the basis of observations and calculations, Rutherford proposed the nuclear model of atom. So based on what he observed and based on his conclusions, we saw the observations as well as we saw the conclusions. See, these are the observations of Rutherford model of atom, and these are the conclusions of Rutherford model of atom. So based on observations and conclusions, he proposed which model? Nuclear model of atom. So according to nuclear model of atom, again there are 3 points. What are the results? Positive charge and most of the mass of the atom was densely concentrated in extremely small region. This very small portion of the atom was called nucleus by Rutherford. So who named the term nucleus in the center of the atom? Rutherford. He got to know that actually the positive charge will be located in small region and that will be densely concentrated only in one small region, and that he called nucleus. Then he made one more conclusion. The nucleus is surrounded by electrons that move around the nucleus with a very high speed in circular paths called orbits. That is, suppose there is a nucleus, okay, and around the nucleus the electrons are revolving. He got to know that. So thus Rutherford's model of atom resembles the solar system in which the nucleus plays the role of sun and the electrons that of revolving planets. So electrons and the nucleus are held together by electrostatic forces of attraction. 3 points are there. One point is nucleus will occupy a small region. Second point is electrons will revolve around nucleus like that of solar system. Third point is both electrons and nucleus are held together by strong electrostatic forces of attraction. These were the features of nuclear model of atom of Rutherford. Now let us see what were the drawbacks or disadvantages of Rutherford's model of atom. Drawbacks of Rutherford model of atom. As Rutherford's model is similar to small scale solar system, we said right, there is an atom and electrons are revolving around the nucleus in these orbits. Means how in a solar system the planets revolve. So Rutherford's model is also like that. So it suggests that electrons should move around the nucleus in well-defined orbits. Actually it should be moving in well-defined orbits, right? So whenever a body is moving it will undergo acceleration. जब भी एक body move हुई तो accelerate होती यानी कुछ change होती. तो जब भी according to electromagnetic theory charged particles when accelerated should emit radiation. के यहाँ पर क्या बोल रहा हूँ यहाँ पे कि ये लोग के वेल डिफाइंड ऑर्बिट्स और वो वेल डिफाइंड ऑर्बिट्स में इलेक्ट्रॉन्स रिवॉल्व हो रहे. तो जब इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जा रहे यहाँ पे तो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स में एक्सेलरेशन हो रहा और जब भी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स में एक्सेलरेशन हो रहा अकॉर्डिंग टू इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक थ्योरी दे शुड एमिट रेडिएशन. ठीक है, रेडिएशन लोग देना चाहिए ये इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. सो therefore an electron in an orbit will emit radiation, thus the orbit will continue to shrink. तो यहाँ पर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जा रहे ऑलरेडी हम लोग देख रहे और जब इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जा रहे एक साथ तो क्या हो रहा रेडिएशन आ रही. जब रेडिएशन आ रही तो क्या हो रहा वो ऑर्बिट्स श्रिंक हो जाते. ठीक है, सो दिस डज नॉट हैपन. दस रुथरफोर्ड्स मॉडल कैन नॉट एक्सप्लेन द स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ द एटम. इसलिए रुथरफोर्ड जो मॉडल है वो स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ एटम के बारे में एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर सक रहा क्योंकि यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा कि ऑर्बिट श्रिंक हो जा रहे. जब ऑर्बिट से श्रिंक हो जाएंगे तो स्टेबिलिटी कैसे रहती. सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट ड्रॉबैक ऑफ रुथरफोर्ड मॉडल ऑफ एटम. Second drawback, if we assume that electrons are stationary around the nucleus, the electrostatic attraction between electrons and nucleus would pull the electrons towards the nucleus to form a miniature version of Thomson model. We know that Rutherford's model and Thomson's model are not same. They are different. They have some differences, right? So actually, if we consider that there is some one atom and in that atom we have, suppose this is a nucleus. Okay, the middle part is called as nucleus. In that nucleus, let us suppose there are orbits, okay, and in those orbits electrons are revolving like this. Okay, so when the whole electrons they are stationary, these electrons when they are stationary, then we assume that there will be some electrostatic force of attraction between this nucleus and between these electrons, and that electrostatic force of attraction, that nucleus will pull the electrons together and that will make Rutherford model into Thomson's model. So that is a drawback. How can Rutherford's model become equal to Thomson's model? Because the electrostatic force will keep the electrons together. That is the second drawback. Third drawback is Rutherford model does not explain the electronic structure of atom. That is, how the electrons are distributed around the nucleus. Okay, he says that nucleus is there and electrons are revolving around the nucleus. He says, but how they are arranged, how they are distributed, that is not said by Rutherford model. And what are the energies of these electrons? Electrons are they, but what about the
This
energies?
finishes our
That
lecture
is
2
not being
about
said by
atomic
Rutherford's
models,
model.
Thomson's model and Rutherford's model. Hope you have understood it. Thank you very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, click that bell icon.